What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome to episode 20 of the MLB Power Rankings. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Hello. 50 people in the chat to start things off. A lot of familiar faces. I am seeing one of the channel's new members in the chat, Mr. Jacob Toon. What is going on, my friend? Hello, everyone. What is going on? 60 people in the chat. What's going on, everyone? How are we doing? A fun week of baseball. Can you feel that playoff tension right around this time of the year, every single year? This is when that playoff fever starts to kick in a little bit. You got August, kind of boring throughout August, and then the beginning of September, first couple of weeks, a little slow. But right when we get to this point, that's when the playoffs start to really kick into gear. Wild card races are looking pretty good. We got a couple of division races that are a little tight. We're going to talk about all of that tonight. Yeah, a lot of good baseball this week. How about the Padres the other night, huh? Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. Getting into a good old yelling match into the dugout. The Padres, man, what in the world has happened to the Padres? Absolutely incredible, if you ask me. Whoa, we got a super chat coming in already from Brandon Black that should pop up on the screen here any second. Go Braves, great channel, love y'all. Brandon Black, no, I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel, my friend. But yeah, we got a lot of good baseball to talk about this week. A lot of stuff happened in this past week. The power rankings, a couple of teams have moved up. There's the super chat from Brandon Black. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We got a couple of teams moving up this week, a couple of teams moving down, and let's see how the power rankings shape up for this week. But before I do get started, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We are, like I said, we are this close to the playoffs. If you're looking for more baseball coverage, this is the channel you want to come to. We're going live all the time during the playoffs. We're going to be doing a lot of live streams in the playoffs, whether or not it's watch-alongs or post-game coverage. Playoff baseball, this is when it's hot, so definitely subscribe now while you can. Hit that like button for me, everyone. That's going to really help this get out there to more baseball fans, especially during this time when playoff baseball is starting to get hot. Hit that bell button so you make sure you're notified of all of the streams coming up and anything I upload. And also, if you can, share the stream. And also, I wanted to I made an announcement on the channel, on the community tab, but just in case you didn't see it, I do want to point it out to you very quickly. Let me actually pull this up very quickly. Here we go. So real quick, before I dive into the power rankings, so I do just want to let you all know. Okay, so as you can see here on my channel, as you can see, I have here the join button, okay? We have a join button now. That means you can become a member of this channel. So for just 99 cents a month, I made it the cheapest possible, 99 cents a month. You can have a badge next to your name. So if you look in the chat right now, Jacob Toon, he has the baseball, and there are the emojis from Jacob. He's using the emojis right now. So I've just started this. So if you would like to, I guess, upgrade your live stream experience, having a badge next to your name, you can do that for just 99 cents a month. I made it the cheapest possible tier. This is not me begging you for money. This is not that. It's just, hey, if you would like to, stand out a little bit more in the chat and just show your support to the channel. If you don't, that's okay. It's not a big deal. But just if you don't want to add a little, a little spice to your experience here is what I'm trying to say. I will eventually add a couple of more tiers. Whoa, we got a new member. David Knight has just become a new member of the channel. Thank you so much, David Knight. Really appreciate that. But yes, I made it 99 cents. Just, that's I made it the cheapest possible. If I could have made it 50 cents, I would have done that. But just a little something for you guys to upgrade if you would like to. And if you don't, that's completely okay. But I will be adding a couple of more tiers eventually. I will be starting a Patreon eventually. Hey, the dream is to talk baseball every day. I would love to do that for my day job if that was possible. So hey, this will only help. But Daniel Hurt 86 just subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But again, if you would like to join, 99 cents per month, you can find the join button here on the home page. Again, I do want to shout out the members that just signed up this past weekend, and David Knight in the chat that just signed up as well. So our newest members, we have Johan, Ed Bogley, Jesus Rodriguez, Jacob Toon, he is here in the chat now. We have Austin Thomas and Chemical. And Raptor Jesus 101 has just become a member. I appreciate that, Raptor Jesus, my friend. So as you can see, he just joined. That should pop up on the screen. But here are the members that just joined this past weekend. So thank you guys. Really appreciate that so much. But alrighty, let's get to it, everyone. There it is. Raptor Jesus 101 has become a member. Thank you so much. But here we go. So these were last week's power rankings. So as you can see, in my top 10, we had the Giants, Dodgers, Brewers, Rays, Blue Jays, Astros, White Sox, Red Sox, Braves, and the Yankees. So I'm going to go the traditional the 30 through 1 format. We were doing grades a while ago, but you guys voted. You guys decided you wanted to see the classic 30 through 1 format. So here we go. So as always, MLB Post Pro has just subscribed. Thank you so much, my friend. Over 100 people in the chat already. Okay, well, 100 people in the chat. Let's get started. So here we go. At number 30, we have the Baltimore Orioles. Not really anything going on with the Orioles this week. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. You lost 2 out of 3 to the you got swept by the Red Sox, by my Red Sox. Actually took it to the Red Sox pretty late today. The Red Sox bullpen, Garrett Whitlock, got hurt today with a pectoral injury. Hirokazu Sawamura had to come in. It just wasn't a good spot overall. He ended up giving up the lead, but the Red Sox stormed back against the Orioles. The Orioles, to me, are always just a really pesky team, no matter what year it is. They always go hard against the Yankees and the Red Sox. They always cause some problems. But yeah, other than that, nothing really going on with the Orioles this week. Coming in at number 29, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Not really much going on with them either. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros. You got swept by the Dodgers this week. Not really too much going on. At number 28, we have the Houston Astros. They were number 26 last week, so they have dropped down a couple of spots. They only won 2 out of 7 games this week, but I will say Isaiah Kiner-Falefa did hit over 400 this week, so definitely the standout player for them this week. Coming in at number 27, we have the Washington Nationals. So they are still in the same spot as they were last week. We got to show some love to Juan Soto. This guy can, no matter where the Nationals are in the standings, Juan Soto continues to just demolish baseballs. This past week, he hit .438 with a .545 on base and a .500 slugging. He hit a home run today. Juan Soto, man, this guy, he's the modern-day Ted Williams. This guy just continues to hit no matter how bad his team is playing. And Lane Thomas had 6 RBIs this week. So those are definitely the stars of the show for the Washington Nationals this week. Coming in at number 26, these guys actually moved up a couple of spots. And are we here? All right, looks like we're here. Are we here? There we go. Okay. Oh, horrible timing. Let's hope that's the only bit of lag we'll have tonight. Man, we got off to a hot start there, and I did bump up my internet this past weekend, so pretty unfortunate that's happening. I might have to do something with this router because I don't know, man. This is it's pretty unfortunate to see. But let's get back to it here. We are back on track. Still got 40 people here in the chat. Let me actually see. Okay, good. We're back up to 91 people. Awesome, everyone. Thank you for coming back in. Hit a little bit of lag there. Apologies for that. I'm going to have to reset this router or something because we've been having lag problems lately. But here we go. Oh, Cash Nelson. How do you become a member on the YouTube app? So I have read that some people don't get the join button for some reason on the app. So you might have to go through the browser. Try doing that if you can, going through the actual browser itself to just the youtube.com instead of the app. I'm not really sure how to get to it from the app. I apologize, my friend. It's weird because I see some channels where the join button's there, and then I see some channels that do have memberships, and then they don't come up on the app. So I'm not really sure. So, oh, shoot. Oh, thank you so much, Chester. I didn't even realize that. Oh, there we go. Quick fix. Oh, didn't even realize that. Thank you so much. Oh, brother. There we go. Alrighty, we're good. We're back on track now. But yeah, again, Cash Nelson, I apologize. If you can, just go through the browser. That's going to be the best way to sign up for a membership. So, alrighty, here we go. Next to the next tier, 21 through 25. And again, you know, these bottom teams, I kind of like to roll through a little quicker. You know, I like to pay a little more attention to the top teams. But moving on, 21 or number 25. Who do we got next? The Minnesota Twins. Just not really much going on with the Twins. They were 2-5 this past week. Some of their numbers looked okay. Minnesota, where are you at? Can't see you. Here we go. At number 25. Yeah, the Twins. There's not really much going on with the Twins this week. So overall, just 2-5 on the week. They were 24th last week. They dropped down a spot this week. So for the Marlins, they bump up a spot. The Miami Marlins. Here we go. Coming in at number 24. You know, the Marlins, hey, you got a lot of fun young players on that team. I think the Marlins, you know, give them a year or two. I think they're going to be really good. But as we all know, this Marlins team, they're just not ready yet. I know they had that, you know, that pretty good story last year, making it to the playoffs in a shortened season. But hey, we all saw this coming with the Marlins. But this past week, you did win 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. And Sandy Alcantara this week, he pitched 14 innings this past week, only gave up 1 run. Sandy Alcantara, man, that guy does not get enough credit. He is very underrated in my opinion. He is a workhorse. You got to love Sandy Alcantara. So here we go. Coming in at number 23. This team dropped down a spot from last week, and that is Kansas City. Had them at 22 last week, dropping down to 23. But Kansas City, Gerrit Cole has become a member. Gerrit Cole, thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate that. But coming in at number 23, the Royals, you know, their offense was actually really good this week. Hunter Dozier this week hit 368. He had over a 1,200 OPS this week. Salvador Perez, 3 more home runs this past week. He has 45 total. That puts him in second in Major League Baseball, just behind Vlad Jr. So, but other than that, I mean, not really too much going on. They did have a good bullpen this week. Greg Holland, Domingo Tapia, Gabe Spire, they all pitched well out of the bullpen. And there's Gerrit Cole becoming a member. Thank you so much, Jared. Really appreciate that. But for the Royals, you know, not really too much going on here. Moving up a spot, we have the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs taking a win today against the Brewers. The Brewers were looking pretty good there for a little bit, but hey, the Cubs came storming back there in the end. They were 2-4 on the week, but you did win against a pretty hot Phillies team this week. And again, you came back today against the Brewers. Their offense was the 7th best this week on Fangraphs. Matt Duffy had a 750 slugging. Are you kidding me? Frank Schwindel this past week hit 333, had a 360 on base, a 667 slugging. Patrick Wisdom had a home run today. Hey, this offense was pretty good. For the Cubs, these guys, they're trying to finish the season strong, and I can respect that. So, hey, gotta love the Cubs trying to play a little bit of a, be a headache to some of these teams going down the stretch. Also to note, Jason Hayward, a Roberto Clemente Award nominee. So, give it up for Jason Hayward there. Coming in at number 21, this is actually one of the biggest drops in the list this week. I mean, I can't even believe it, but the New York Mets for me coming in at number 21. This New York Mets team, they've lost 5 straight games. Oh, Garrett Link with a 199 super chat. Tyler O'Neill, best left fielder in baseball. He has been huge this year, and he was huge for the Cardinals the other night against the Padres. What a clutch home run there at the end of the game. Are you kidding me? Tyler O'Neill, man, he has really come on strong, and the St. Louis Cardinals, you can really thank him for a lot of their success, especially how hot they've been. St. Louis has always been a second half team. And, it's funny because they're, where they were this year around the, second, when the second half of the season started, you're kind of like, I don't know about the St. Louis team, but they kept hanging around and then they got hot at the right time. And is it me, or does that happen almost every single year with the St. Louis Cardinals? It feels like it, if you ask me. What is this? Chester, be honest, were you watching football over baseball? I think everyone did. No, actually, Chester, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched one game of football yet this year. I mean, I paid attention to my Patriots with Mac Jones, but Mac Jones had a pretty good game today. He actually had a good game last week and a loss, but that's really all I've been paying attention to. I have my fantasy team. Oh, speaking of fantasy, my team absolutely destroying my opponent in the semifinals, and I am moving on to the championship for the second straight year. So back in 2015, I won the championship. I took 5 years off, 2014 won the championship. 2015 to 2019 took that off, didn't play fantasy baseball, came back last year, won the championship, and I am advancing to the championship this week. And I'm going up against a team that I beat 3 times this year. I don't know. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's fantasy baseball. We got to start a league in here, everyone. Next year, I got to put together some kind of a league. I don't know how the heck we even do it, but I don't know. Maybe I can make that because you can only have 12 teams max in a league, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know how I would do it, but I don't know. Maybe we could set up something for next year. But fantasy baseball, pretty pumped. Anyway, but coming in at number 21, we have the New York Mets. They've lost 5 straight. This Mets team is completely imploded. They've had so many injuries this year, but you look at the depth of the Mets, and I think really, when you look at teams like, if you look at these two teams, the Mets and the Padres, they lack depth in their system. I mean, I think that sounds crazy to say with the Padres, but, considering they had such a good farm system, but they've unloaded a lot of these guys, And the Mets, they don't have much depth. They don't have a lot of guys down in the minor leagues that can come up. They don't have a lot of depth. And so it's really showing. When you came into this season, the Padres and the Mets both looked really good on paper. But look at what's happened. A lot of injuries, a lot of guys hitting slumps. It's what can you do? When you don't have depth in your organization, you're not going to get very far. So, look at how the Padres and the Mets were doing. Mets were in first place. Padres were cruising along as one of the wild cards, and they were sitting pretty. And look what's happened at the end of the season. No depth in your organization is going to show in the end. So, simple as that. But one thing to note of with the New York Mets, let's actually go take a look here. Got to take this ad blocker off. Let's take this off. Pause on this site. Let's refresh. But very interesting rumor. The Mets are looking to add someone to this front office. And, they have been connected with Theo Epstein lately, and also they have been connected to Billy Beane. How crazy would it be if the Mets brought in Billy Beane as their president of baseball operations? What a story. Talk about coming full circle, where the Mets drafted Billy Beane back in 1980, and he ended up flaming out as a player. But could you imagine him coming back to the Mets and helping rebuild that organization, and then ending up winning a championship? I mean, I think that would be awesome if Billy Beane came to the Mets. I think that would be incredible. What a story that would be. So very interesting. That is something about the Mets to keep an eye on. They are, so Sandy Alderson, he is the president. He's not the president of baseball operations. He has taken more of that role for, running the baseball stuff, but they want to bring in someone to run the baseball operations. So, hey, Billy Beane is an option, and you got to remember, you don't know what's going to happen with the A's. Maybe Billy Beane doesn't want to be a part of that. Maybe the A's want to move on. Maybe they want to, start fresh, and they want to move, to a different city with, someone new, I don't know. And then, hey, or maybe Billy Beane doesn't want to be a part of that. Maybe he wants to, instead of going, if let's say the A's move to Las Vegas, let's say he doesn't want to go to Las Vegas, and he sees the Mets as an opportunity to really prove himself and win a championship. I think that's not really out of the question. I don't know, Billy Beane. I don't know what's going on there, but I think that would be really exciting. I think that would be a great baseball story. I would love that. But also, don't forget about Theo Epstein. Theo Epstein has been connected with the Mets for a little bit now, so gonna have to wait and see. Look for the Mets to do something this offseason. Look for them to do something, especially with the president of baseball operations. So, here we go. We're moving now. We're now moving on to the next tier. We're in 20 through 16. So, coming in at number 20, I have the Angels. Not really much going on with the Angels this week. They were 9th in the relief pitching this week. Ohtani did look good today. He pitched 8 innings. He struck out 10. But overall, they were swept by the A's. They lost 2 out of 3. Did they lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, or did they win 2 out of 3? Hold on. I think they won 2 out of 3. But Ohtani did strike out 10 guys. That was huge for my fantasy team. Huge. Okay, so they won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. So that's why, here you see them in the third tier here instead of being in the second to last tier. For the Angels, hey, it's a disappointing season. Let's see what they end up doing next year. But I guess it's fun to see Ohtani pitching really well today. And that's the big question right now, is who is going to win the MVP? Is it going to be Shohei Ohtani? Is it going to be Vlad Jr.? I'm going to be honest here. If Vlad Jr. ends, let's say Vlad Jr. finishes with the Triple Crown, okay? In my opinion, I just don't see how you don't give it to Ohtani. It has nothing to do with Vlad. It's just, Ohtani has been killing the baseball this year. He has over 40 home runs. He's third in the home run race, I believe. He's third with 40. He has 44 home runs, and this dude just struck out 10 over 8 innings today. Come on. I don't see how you don't give him it. I don't see it. That's just my opinion. Blue Jays fans, don't hate me for that one. But I just personally think we haven't seen a player like Ohtani, and this dude has been the only good thing about the Angels this year. So, I don't know. That's just me. I'm not saying Vlad Jr. doesn't deserve it, but I think it's just when you got a guy like Ohtani just doing what he's doing. He's the modern day Babe Ruth. We haven't seen this before. This is completely crazy. I just don't see how Ohtani doesn't get it. I don't, and it's not even just what he's doing on the field. It's just the name. It's just what he brings to the game. That he has that international flair. He's one of the faces of baseball. And I'm not saying Vlad Jr.'s not. It's just Shohei Ohtani, to me, he's that two-way player that we've never seen before. And the season that he's having, it's incredible. So, I don't know. No disrespect to Vlad. I just think Ohtani, it's just special, and I don't know. But I could see the argument for Vlad Jr. too. If Vlad ends up winning the MVP, I think that's great. I think he definitely deserves it. I think it's just kind of one of those years where it's like, how ridiculous is it? Like, how he's having this good of a season, but Ohtani is doing something so special at the same time. It's hard. And, I see a few of you saying in the chat, Vlad should get it. And in a way, I kind of agree. I think Vlad has just been huge. I will say the Blue Jays offense, there have been a lot of guys in that offense that have really stepped up as well. But Vlad has definitely led the pack. Again, he's just going up against something here that we've just never seen before. And I think when it comes down to it, I think both guys deserve it. I would make them co-MVPs, to be honest, because I think they're both special. But I think when it comes down to it, when I'm looking at what the voters are going to do, I feel like a couple more of them are going to be a little more enamored with Shohei Ohtani. And I think that's just how it's going to go. We got a couple more weeks here. So we're going to have to wait and see how it all unfolds. But I don't know. I think Ohtani, as of right now, I think he's going to get it. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. But in the end, I would love to do a co-MVP. We've only had it one other time. So do it. Do the co-MVPs because they're both special. Moving on, number 19. Here we go. The Colorado Rockies. They move up 2 spots from last week. They were at number 21. And this week, they were 4-1 this week against the Nationals and the Braves. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They had some pretty good starting pitching this week. Sanzatella, Freeland, they both pitched pretty well this past week. Hey, the Rockies, they've been winning some baseball lately, and I feel like not a lot of people are seeing it. So the Rockies, they come in at number 19 for me. How about the Cleveland Indians coming in at number 18? Hey, 2 out of 3 against the Twins this week. You just absolutely clobbered the Yankees. Holy cow, you just scored 22 runs on them in the last 2 games. You completely took it to Gerrit Cole today. Love it as a Red Sox fan. There's my giraffe neck Robbie coming out. But what can I say? This Indians team, this offense has not really been all that great this year. And they just put up 22 runs in Yankee Stadium. Are you kidding me? Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes both had over 1,000 OPS this week. Tristan McKenzie, Aaron Savali, Cal Quantrill all pitched really well this week. Eli Morgan pitched well against the Yankees today. So, hey, Cleveland coming in at number 18 for me. How about the Detroit Tigers coming in at number 17? Last week, they were also at number 17. But, hey, for the Detroit Tigers, they've been playing really well. If we take a look, Willie Peralta, 7 shutout innings today against the Rays. It's funny with the Tigers. They were last in offense this week, but they still split with the Rays, and they won both games against the Brewers this past week. I'm telling you right now, early bit of a prediction here. I'm telling you, look out for Detroit next year for a second wild card. I'm telling you, this team, they're playing really well. The talent's not quite there. But they got A.J. Hinch, who has really had these guys come together. They got a lot of young guys on this team. Add a couple of guys in free agency. I'm telling you, look out. Look out for the Tigers. Coming in, rounding out this tier, who would have thought we would have seen this team this low? The San Diego Padres. They were 14 last week, coming in at number 16 this week. This team is fading fast. They've been fading. They're 2-8 in the last 10. They're 5-10 in the month of September. They were dead last in starting pitching this past week. You had that argument between Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. There's no depth on this team. Guys are getting hurt left and right. Guys are slumping. This San Diego Padres team, this is miserable. Let's actually go take a look here at the rest of their schedule. Let's take a look at the standings really quick. So with San Diego, they're currently 3.5 out of the second wild card. We'll get to St. Louis here in a little bit, but these teams are really starting to distance themselves. Minus Philly, they've kind of come on strong. We'll talk about them soon as well. But San Diego, man, you've lost 3 straight. You got pummeled by the Cardinals this weekend. You know, you had the lead there late, but Tyler O'Neill completely just won that game for the Cardinals. It is amazing to see how fast this team just dropped off. But I'm telling you right now, the main reason is the depth of the organization. They have no guys down in the minor leagues that can come up. They got no guys that can help. I mean, it's simple as that. Their starting pitching has been ravished. They've had the offense was just pretty lackluster from the start, which is crazy because they have so many good bats in that lineup. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr., as good as he is, I mean, you know, the guy, he's been hurt a bit this year. It's just been a complete disaster for San Diego. And I don't know. I mean, you can sit here and we can say, like, wow, look at all the moves that the Padres made, you know, going back to last year's trade deadline. But look at everything they had to give up. They had to give up so much. And, you know, and look at where they are now. They got no one they can turn to. Mackenzie Gore has completely slumped this year down in the minor leagues. They couldn't turn to him. You know, it's really sad to see. So the Padres, I'm going to say right now, I think the Padres are done. They're done. I think that's the first time I'm saying this all year. I have hung on to them as long as I can. But the San Diego Padres, they're done. I don't see it. Unless they just explode here in the last couple of weeks. But, I mean, if you take a look at the schedule. So, with the Cardinals, well, they lost 2 out of 3, right? No, you got swept. And that's the worst possible. That was the worst possible thing they could have done. You couldn't even win a game. That completely, like, that right there. I mean, look at the standings. You know, right there. They were a half game behind. And then they got swept. It's crazy to see. It's nuts. And then you got the Giants, you know, then you got the Braves, and then you got the Dodgers, and then you got the Giants. Like, my heart wants this Padres team to just catch fire. They have a day off tomorrow. I don't know if these guys can get their heads right, but they're going to have to just sweep the week. They're going to have to sweep the Giants and the Braves to really give themselves, you know, a chance. Because after that they got 2 more series against 2 teams. You know, it's not like the Dodgers and the Giants are just going to be cruising into the playoffs. The Giants and the Dodgers right now are battling it out for that division. So these Dodgers are not going to let up. The Giants are not going to let up. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how this Padres team can do it. I want to see it, but I can't. I can't believe I'm even saying it. But the Padres, in my opinion, they're done. Here we go. Next tier. We have made it halfway through. Coming in at number 15, we have another team that is fading fast, but I'm not surprised. I'm not as surprised about this one than the Padres, the Cincinnati Reds. They've been really up and down all year. I feel like, you know, out of the 20 episodes of the Power Rankings that we've done this year, there have been so many times where the Reds, they looked really good, and then they just looked really bad, and then they look really good, and then they look really bad. It's too much of a yin-yang kind of a team. I don't think they have enough of a well-rounded team to be a consistent team. The offense definitely has its bats. The starting pitching has been really good this year, but the bullpen has been a thorn in the side of the Cincinnati Reds. They were 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're 6-10 this month. They're 29th in offense this past week. The bullpen actually did look pretty good this past week. That is one thing, but the bullpen has been just really inconsistent all year. They had a good week this past week, but it's not helping because it's like it's one thing after the other with the Cincinnati Reds. You know, they'll be clicking, and then, you know, the offense is slumping, or maybe the starting pitching is slumping, or the bullpen is slumping. It's one thing after another with the Cincinnati Reds. As of right now, they are 3 back. They are ahead of the Padres here, but I mean, they are slumping as well. But and this is why I'm saying this, like Fangraphs, you know, if we actually go to Fangraphs really quick, I have been looking at these projected standings. But, you know, I remember Fangraphs, they gave the Reds such a strong chance of getting a wild card spot. Remember this? They had the Reds at like a 75% at one point. Why? Because of the strength of schedule. And I said this a few streams ago. I said, just because you have an easy schedule doesn't mean you're going to get it done. Sometimes, maybe this is a bit of radio talk here, but I think a lot of these times, hey, the Cincinnati Reds, they go to play Pittsburgh, and they're like, Pittsburgh? Nah, they're not that good. But Pittsburgh, they're like, hey, let's go. Let's play spoiler here. It's like, the people are thinking, well, the Pirates, they don't got anything to play for. Of course they do. They're trying to play tough for these other teams. They want to, these younger players, they are hungry players. They want to perform well. So I'm not surprised to see a team like the Pirates, taking it to the Reds. So, but yeah, it's crazy to see because the Reds at one point, Fangraphs gave them a 75% chance of getting a wild card. And look at where the Reds are now, 3 games back. So, Cincinnati, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Coming in at number 14, the Seattle Mariners dropping down 1 spot from last week. Overall, the Seattle Mariners, I'm not surprised. I've been saying this for weeks now. I like the Mariners. I like, these younger players that they have, and I think they're going to be really good in the next couple of years. Look, like I said, for the Tigers, look out for the Mariners to maybe make a move this offseason. Wouldn't be surprised. But for the Mariners, I just feel like in the end, and if you guys have been here week to week, you guys know I've said the Mariners, I feel like they're just not going to have enough in the end. I feel like they're just not quite there. You lost 2 out of 3 to my Red Sox this week. You did win 2 out of 3 against the Royals. You had a good game today. Ty France, he's been really good this past week. Hit .412 this past week with a .500 on base. Kelenic had a good game today. 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. He had 3 home runs this week with 7 RBIs. So Kelenic, he's been heating up a little bit. Logan Gilbert pitched really well today. 7 innings, 1 earned run. But the bullpen actually struggled this past week. Their bullpen has been a strength, but they only ranked 29th this past week. So Seattle, they're fading fast. I don't know. They're 4 out now. I don't see it. I just, as good of a story Seattle has been, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't think they have the talent. Go out and get a shortstop. Maybe trade away a J.P. Crawford, get something back for him. Go sign yourself a Carlos Correa. Go sign, a Corey Seager. How cool would that be if you had Corey Seager and Kyle Seager on the left side of the infield? I think that'd be really fun. But good story for the Mariners this year. But just like the Padres, they're done. I just don't see it with the Mariners. Coming in at number 13, we have the Philadelphia Phillies. So the Phillies are red hot for the Phillies. So let's take a look here. They've won 4 straight. They are 3 back in the wild card, but they are going to have more of a chance here at the division. As of right now, they're 1.5 back. Actually, what's going on with the Phillies tonight? Ooh, they're down 3-2, top of the 9th. Got a runner on down. Oh, they just lost. Okay, so Philly is now 2 back. Philly is now 2 back in the division. So they still got a chance at this division. I think they got a better chance at it than the wild card. There's a lot of teams. Well, actually, let me take a look at the wild card again. No, never mind. Okay, so they just have the Cardinals. But again, you're closer to the division. Actually, let me look at the Phillies' remaining schedule. Let's actually take a look here at the playoff odds. So as of right now, Fangraphs is giving them just around a 33% chance of winning this division. 5% chance to win the wild card. So that's going to be really interesting. This NL East is not done. It's far from over. You got the Braves right there. You got an easy week this week. This is very interesting for the Phillies. You got the Orioles and the Pirates. Both of those teams are on the bottom tier of my power rankings. So they got could you imagine the Phillies winning out this week, taking all 7 games, and then you're tied with the Braves, going into this series. This is not over by any means. Bryce Harper has been red hot. Let's go pull up the stats here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's take a look. Actually, what ended up happening tonight? Let's see here. I don't want to watch on MLB TV. I just want the game day. So who did what tonight? Only 2 runs tonight. They got off to a hot start. Can we actually give some love here for Freddie Galvis? He's actually been hitting really well lately. Bryce Harper had himself an RBI tonight, so it's the 80th RBI for Bryce Harper. But if we take a look at the Phillies this past week, Bryce Harper has been absolutely incredible. This was a prediction of mine. I said the Phillies were going to come all the way back and win this division, and Bryce Harper was going to lead them to it. I mean, it's all, the prediction is so close. I'm not usually good at these predictions, but I mean, this prediction is probably the closest one because the Phillies are right there, and Harper has been insane. He's at 500 this past week. This isn't counting tonight, by the way. Over a 600 on base, a 1,000 slugging. Are you kidding me? This guy has 7 RBIs this past week. And Freddie Galvis, like I said, he's hit over 400 this week with over a 500 on base, a 786 slugging. Gene Segura hitting over 300 this week, 652 slugging. JT Realmuto has been solid. But man, Bryce Harper, he is out of his mind. But hey, for the Phillies, you got a chance here. You got a chance. You got a week of really easy baseball. You should be able to win both of these series. You should be able to take 2 out of 3, at least against the Orioles, and at least 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. But we don't know. Just like with the Reds, they had an easy schedule too. Hey, the Phillies, they should be able to win these games, but will they be able to get it done? Gonna have to wait and see. So, but if they can sweep both of these, or at least win both, they're going to be in a really good position against the Braves. And then they have the Marlins at the end, another not-so-great team. The Phillies have a great schedule right now, so that is something to be aware of. The Phillies are hot. They were 17th last week in my power rankings, and again, they come in at number 13 for me. Dropping down a couple of spots from last week to this week. At number 12, I already mentioned them, the New York Yankees. Wow. This Yankees team, like I said, they got pummeled this past weekend by the Indians. They gave up 22 runs today and yesterday. Are you kidding me? That's against the Indians. That offense is not that great. They've been better lately, but that Indians offense is not that scary. You got a couple of guys in there, but I don't know. But for the Yankees, you did win 3 out of 4 against the Orioles this past week. Let me pull up their schedule here really quick. But goodness gracious, Gerrit Cole. This is the ace. This is the big money guy. And you're coming in and you're giving up 7 runs in a playoff race to the Indians. I know no one's perfect, but I mean, good grief. Are you kidding me? Gerrit Cole, what are you doing? I mean, horrible game plan, whatever it was today, or you just didn't execute. I don't know, man, but that is tough to see with how much money you're paying that guy, and you're right in the middle of a playoff race. I mean, I don't know, man. That's a bad look. One bit of good news. Luis Severino is supposed to be coming back rather soon. Let's take a look here at the news. Sevy's imminent return, a lift for the taxed Yankees. The Yankees have been overworked a little bit lately. They have had some injuries. So it says here, Luis Severino is on the brink of his long-awaited return to the major leagues, and the Yankees hope that the right-hander can provide an electric jolt. So he's had a couple of setbacks on his rehab assignment. It's something to keep an eye out for. So have to wait and see. But he did throw 2 innings and 35 pitches in his last live outing. I think it was just live batting practice. So this is a guy that he's really going to help out that bullpen that has been taxed.
They've been working hard lately, so he's going to be a big boost for that bullpen. Kind of like how Garrett Whitlock has been for the Red Sox. That's how the Yankees kind of view Severino. Come in for maybe 2-3 innings at a time. Be like that long relief weapon out of the bullpen, where you can also bring him in, in different spots as well. So, but Luis Severino is coming back for the Yankees. Joey Gallo, while he is considered day-to-day with some neck tightness, Joey Gallo, Ethan Williams has just subscribed. Thank you so much. Joey Gallo, while he is a day-to-day as of right now, this dude has been killing it this past week. Look at the week Joey Gallo's been having. A .412 batting average, a .412 on base, almost a 1,300 slugging. Are you out of your mind? Hit 5 home runs this past week. 5 RBIs. Holy cow. Brett Gardner over a 400 on base. Giancarlo Stanton with 3 home runs this past week. Good grief. Luke Voigt, 2 home runs over a 400 on base. With the starting pitching, let's actually take a look here. The starting pitching actually did do pretty well. I know they had a couple of tough games against the Indians, but for the week here, we're looking at the overall week. This is not counting today's stats, but Corey Kluber had himself a good start in his return this past week. Gerrit Cole did have a good start this past week before getting destroyed today. Jordan Montgomery pitched well. Nestor Cortez pitched well this past week. Luis Gil, not really so much. But for the bullpen, let's take a look at this bullpen for the Yankees. So Chapman did do well this past week, got himself a save. So that's good to see. Clay Holmes continues to pitch well for the Yankees. ERA of 3, but that 1.16 FIP looks a lot better. Michael King, holy cow, 5 innings this past week. I'm not sure if he pitched today, but no earned runs given up. Let's go to the box score. Did he pitch today? I know Gerrit Cole was pretty much the reason for this. 7 runs. Good grief. Luch. I always forget how to pronounce this name. Is it? I think it's just Luch. I always forget. But he did pretty well. Schmidt, actually. Look at Clark Schmidt. Made an appearance today. 4 strikeouts over those 2 innings. That's pretty good, but not really effective overall. 2 walks, 2 earned runs, 4 hits allowed. So Clark Schmidt, if he can maybe step it up a little bit, that's going to be a help. That's going to be very helpful. But overall, for the Yankees, while some numbers do look really good, you ended the week on a very sour note. And if we take a look at the wild card, they are a game and a half out of this wild card right now. I think the Yankees, they have what it takes to get this done. They have what it takes to get a wild card. But it's going to be really hard with how Toronto's been lately, man. It's going to be really hard. Let's actually go back to the Yankees. Let's take a look at the rest of their schedule. 260 people in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you all for coming out tonight. But for the Yankees, you got 3 games against the Rangers. That is a winnable series. But you have your season on the line here. You got the Red Sox next weekend. Oh, give me that. Give me it. I need it. I need it. Red Sox, Yankees, when something is on the line, there's nothing else. There's nothing that even comes close to the excitement of that. And then you got the Blue Jays. This is your season here. This is your season. You got a few easy games here against the Rangers. And then you got an off day. And you know what? I'm actually going to say this. I'm going to say this. I think these off days are going to be really big for the Yankees. They have had, if you take a look here, the Yankees have not had a day off since September 2nd. And you know what? They're dying right now. They are probably just, their legs are hurting. Their arms are sore. Their heads hurt. But that is one thing here about the Yankees. I guarantee you the Yankees, when they looked at this schedule when it first came out, I guarantee they looked at this stretch